throughout my initial 10 videos, it all concerned characters who weren't in the beta, but there's a lot of people in my live streams, as well as those in videos who didn't get a chance to play the beta, who are very interested in 3 particular characters, and it's the first of the 3, and that's Magneto. And if you're looking to play a traditional tank role in Vanguard, as the Vanguards are definitely split up between dive tanks and traditional tanks, Magneto is arguably the best amongst the 3 that really just hold down the fort. If you're looking for MVPs though, he might not be your character, because he is definitely more get that W, climb ranks, get to diamond, get to platinum, rather than maybe being the guy, but the guy that's going to make sure your team wins. Let's take a look at his abilities right now. All right, let's take a look at Magneto's abilities. We're gonna start with Iron Volley, which is his left click. You just pew, pew, pew. You're going to get 10 shots. You reload when you need to. His Q is called Meteor M. Drawing all materials around it. Forged Iron Meteor that deals massive damage upon impact. Absorbing enemy projectiles can enhance the meteor's power, yet overloading it will cause it to self-destruct. It has about 800 health. His left shift is called Metallic Curtain. This changed the magnetic field around to form a metallic curtain, blocking all incoming damage. It's his main way of defending. It does a really good job for actually like eliminating a lot of incoming damage, and the cooldown's not terrible. E is Metal Bulwark. Conjure a metal shield around a chosen ally. You can put this on anyone around you. Damage taken will transform into the rings on Magneto's back. Iron Bulwark. Conjure an iron shield around himself. Damage taken will transform into rings around his back. Metal Bulwark is transferring to someone else. Iron Bulwark is transferring to you yourself. You have Magneto Cannon. Convert iron rings on Magneto's back into a magnetic cannon and launch metallic mass forward. Higher stacks of rings increase the damage, and full stacks knock back an enemy. His passive is called Magnetic Descent. Holds space to slow fall. And finally, he has a team ability called Metallic Fusion. Scarlet Witch can infuse Chaos Energy into Magneto to enchant his Great Sword. Upon receiving the Chaos Energy, Magneto can unleash his full force, striking down enemies with an enchanted Great Sword. And you see this right here. This is basically one of the best weapons that Magneto has in his offensive arsenal. So it does help when he does have Scarlet Witch. Even after the nerf, it's still really, really good.
I will do what it takes to protect my people, no matter the price.
So as we start with Magneto here, you're gonna see this is his right click. It takes about 4 hits to actually kill someone, and then you can just reload. Always be conscious though, the 10 bullets isn't a lot, so it can get you in trouble if you don't reload frequently. Now we'll take a look at his shield. First we have the bubble. And this can be put on either one. The bulwark can go to a person, like you hit E and you put on the galactic bot here, or it can be put on yourself. So it depends on which version of the bulwark you want to use. Now, the thing you got to remember, it is a 12-second cooldown. It does a great job, but you're going to have to be choosing when you use it. So here's me putting it on my own Magneto. You press F. Now, Magneto's main way of tanking is just using his shield. It will block everything, even in all. It only has a 3-second cooldown, so it's usually pretty easy to get back up. And then finally, his right click is his push, depending on the rings on his back and how much damage he has taken or how much damage he has caused. You will increase the amount of rings. As you can see, the rings are increasing. So you kind of want to make sure you have full rings before you use it, because then you do a lot more damage. As you can see, my rings are full, and then bam, you get the pushback with it. Now you're not going to see the sword because obviously Wanda's not with me in the practice range, but once again, like I said, you'll see the rings get added. Once you get this purple on his back, or red if you have Wanda, then you're going to use the pushback. Now here's his ability, Q. As you can see, it will bring in everything around it, and then you pick where you're going to drop it. It will do decent damage. It's not the best for getting kills, but it does a pretty solid job of, one, being an extra cooldown for Magneto if you just need to tank a spot by yourself, or two, just getting a lot of half health on people for your duelist to clean up the rest and you resume tanking. Now, the thing I'll say about Magneto is kind of a tale of two stories. With and without Wanda is definitely a different approach to how you're going to play them. And we're going to start with playing him without Wanda. I play him without Wanda all the time. I'm pushing up the gold on PSN. I've mostly played Magneto going all the way there. And very few times have I had a Wanda. I love it when she shows up, but most of the time you're using him as a rotational character to hold point, to defend your players, and allow them to make their push in, deciding when and where you're going to use your bulwark. Because that is a 12-second cooldown, and you need to make sure you choose the optimal time to do it. Your shield, though, on the other hand, is only a 3-second cooldown, and you can pretty much get full value of it every few seconds. It allows him a very good ability of tanking damage. It puts him right up there with the shield of Doctor Strange and the walls of Groot. Those three make up the best straight tanking Vanguards. And at this point, he really does a good job as you're earning rings. Wait till you have your 3 rings before you activate. Like I said when we were doing the shooting range, is watch his back. Once you see the purple glow on his back, it's a good time to use his cannon, or red if he has a Wanda with it. It will change the color of his rings, but that's when you want to use cannon. You want to get that knockback, you want to get that stun, and you want to be able to finish them off. I always recommend also reloading your normal left click attack, so that way you have 10 attacks after you get the stun, so you can just go in and volley them. Now, the thing you have to remember, without Wanda, you're not going to have Sword, and Sword is definitely one of his best abilities, so you're going to have to play a little bit more cautiously, and you can't be nearly as aggressive without it. A lot of the video you're seeing here, I am actually going to have Sword because the Wanda was with me, and I took advantage of it to push into places or do high damage, because even, as I said, after the nerf, which is the only time we've really seen the nerf was from the beta to the beta that was in China, so between those two, into the launch of the game, it's the same version as it was in the pre-launch, allows you to do pretty decent damage, and it's a good way to get kills, and it's a nice way to have an extra rotation, because then you're not just relying on getting cannon to get stuns and then lead into kills, you also have that ability as well. Now, I love playing Magneto because he is great at one of two things. One, his cooldowns make him very good defensively. Even with Bulwark on 12 seconds, you can use shield every 3, you can get into a good rotation. Use cover when playing as Magneto. If you can tank and hide behind a wall for a few seconds just to give Bulwark some extra time, it is absolutely beneficial, because Bulwark is basically that opportunity to either A, save your teammate, or B, you're out of cooldowns, you're trying to hold a point and save yourself. Now with Wanda, he can be played so much more aggressively and can overpower a lot of squishies. Now, he's not a dive tank. You're not going to be going after strategists hiding in the back with Magneto trying to force through the line. You're still going to play a little bit defensively, but as that line comes to you, you're able to push back with a lot more force, especially if they come at you. You have Sword on cooldown, you have 3 rings on cannon, you're ready to really do some damage. And if you have Bulwark, you can pop Bulwark for yourself and go into Sword and basically be free. You're charging your cannon as well, because any damage that comes into your Bulwark is going to feed your rings as well. Now, Magneto, for me, is the best straight Vanguard. Now, I can see the argument for Doctor Strange. I can see the argument for Groot as a tank Vanguard. But for me, I just enjoy playing his style. He is arguably the slowest of the 3. Like, he just feels like he's just floating along, so you're gonna have to get used to the movement speed of Magneto, which is arguably the slowest character in the game, but he feels very methodic. So it's kind of the situation where you're gonna have to keep an eye on your surroundings and know when to use your Bulwark, know when to try to sneak behind a wall if you can get a few free seconds that you're not actually taking in the damage, but you'll always have your shield probably at the ready if you need to. Now, the best thing about a shield is it can take a ton of damage. I've blocked ults with it. Iron Man's plasma blast doesn't even affect it. You can basically live as a team behind his shield. The problem is, once it takes all the damage, it evaporates and you're going to be up for 3 seconds again. If you don't have any other cooldowns, you're going to be kind of at the mercy of your team strategist to kind of keep you up. Now, Magneto is one of the best at holding points. He's one of the best at maintaining the flow of the game. As I've said, I've been riding Magneto almost to gold and solo tanking as a Vanguard. Like, a lot of times I'm playing a 1-3-2 where I can kind of hold ground as Magneto, take enough damage that my duelists are free to do what they need to do. My strategists can keep me up in between my cooldowns. With the fact that Marvel Rivals has interactive environments, you're gonna kind of want to know what the places are where no matter how it gets hit, it's not going to get destroyed, or it will. So you know, hey, I have a second here, or hey, I can kind of sit here until I have all my cooldowns back, depending on how the environment works for you. If you tell me that you think Doctor Strange or Groot is a better straight up tank Vanguard, I'll listen to that debate. And I can understand that playstyles are going to play into that. Like with my playstyle being a little more cautiously defensive, Magneto definitely plays well for me. So even if I don't have Wanda, I feel very comfortable maintaining that point and picking up the W for my team. What I recommend, get a little bit of time playing him in quick play matches before you try to Vanguard with him in comp, because it is a much faster game in comp, but he will be a tank that you can rely on to do exactly what you want him to do. If you're not looking to play a dive Vanguard like Captain America or Venom, then he is absolutely going to be a perfect pick for you if you were looking for a true tank. And if you get a Wanda, just hard take him, because then you're going to have a lot of fun because you'll have sword as well. As always, thanks for watching, and later, mates.